Good morning, everyone. Come along with us as we pick berries from our Malabar Spinach saved seed.
Alright guys, check it out. This is Malabar Spinach. This is the red stemmed variety. And this has become one of my favorite vegetables here in the garden. We've had a terrible year for growing things. It's really been bad. And I'm not alone. Also, this is a kiwano. This is not the same thing, but it's here. It's been a terrible year for growing stuff. We had a very cool and wet spring, and then it turned into summer, and it was just way too hot. Most of the vegetables struggled and died, but a select few actually kept on producing even when the weather was terrible. And this is one of them, our Malabar spinach, which is growing and growing. We come out here every day and we harvest leaves from this stuff, and we eat it in our salads mostly, and it's really good stuff. And incidentally, it does make good food for bearded dragons. If you're looking for a natural food you can grow yourself for any vegetable eating pets that you might have. The kiwano is also one that did produce throughout the heat, but we're not talking about that guy today. Today, we're actually going to save seeds from the Malabar spinach. That way we can plant some next year, and we can also plant it in other areas, like so our chickens and goats can eat it and stuff like that. Now, saving seed for Malabar spinach is extremely simple. When your Malabar spinach plant produces these berries, each berry contains one seed, and all you have to do is pick these berries and let them dry out, and then you can plant the entire berry the following year, and you get your Malabar spinach plant. Now you can go ahead and start picking, dear. You can go ahead and get a strainer and squish these berries and and get the seeds out, so you just have clean seeds by themselves. But I'm lazy. I don't feel like doing that. I'm just going to dry the entire berry, and we're going to plant them willy-nilly. Now, this is an excellent green to grow, especially if you live in a southern area. They're very drought tolerant and heat tolerant. Like I said, everything else was dying and this stuff was still growing. They also grow well up north. It's one of those plants that's really easy to grow, and the leaves, they're very mild tasting. They're kind of like a mild spinach. We just pick them and we cut them up and add them to our salads along with other fun stuff from the garden. And it's really good. And they're extremely good for you. Lots of vitamin A, vitamin C, antioxidants, all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely worth growing. If you can get your hands on some seeds, you totally should. In the southern climates, it is a perennial. It can come back. And I don't know if we're far enough south for it to come back on its own or not, which is one of the reasons we're saving seeds. If you live up north, growing it is easy. And a lot of times what people tell me is if you just let it grow and you don't bother harvesting the seeds, you just let it grow and do what it wants to do, the berries will dry out on the stems and fall into the soil, and they'll just volunteer and come back next year themselves. So, all in all, this is a very cool plant. We love it for greens. One of the few greens that grew through the summer when the lettuce and the mustard greens and all those other greens would not grow. This continued to grow and give us greens. So we are thrilled with this plant, and we're going to go ahead and continue picking berries. All right, we are done picking. We didn't pick a whole lot. There's still more out there, but this is plenty for our personal needs, and there are plenty more berries ripening on the vine, so if we end up wanting more, we can get more later. We would like to say that these do stain. So they stained your hands, they stained my hands too.
It looks like a pink marker sign.
They kind of remind me of pokeberries. People do use these as a natural dye. So if you're looking for a source of natural dye, this might be for you. You could use them to color pickled eggs or, fabric, or do some kind of interesting painting with them, whatever. But that's another interesting use. Some people actually use these as a food dye. Now, we were looking up if these are edible because they're berries and everybody loves berries. And all we could find out was that they're highly ornamental, which means pretty, but probably doesn't taste very good. But since people do use them as a food dye, they should be edible enough. So our guinea pig here is going to try the berries and tell us all how they are. So go for it whenever you're ready.
I'm nervous.
Worst thing it's going to do is taste bad, and you can just spit it out. It'll be okay.
It doesn't taste good.
It doesn't. Your teeth are purple. Your smile. Eee, purple teeth.
Actually, it tastes like spinach.
What? A berry that tastes like spinach?
It tastes like the Malabar spinach.
It tastes like the Malabar spinach. So,
I don't know why.
not what you were expecting when you're eating a purple juicy berry. No. Okay, well, so to sum it all up, to save seeds for Malabar spinach is very simple. You can just dry the entire berries and then plant them whenever you're ready to plant them. There's a very, very simple, easy plant to grow. If you want to clean the berry flesh off and save the seeds by themselves, you can do that. That's just more work. Or you could just let them dry on the vine and fall into the soil where they will grow by themselves. So, like I said, very, very simple. We hope you enjoyed this video. We hope you learned a little something from it today, and hope you found it entertaining. We don't recommend going and eating the berries because they taste like spinach.
Yeah.
Who wants to eat spinach berries? Nobody. Okay, well, if you'd like to give us a thumbs up, please, we appreciate it. And we'll see you next time.